Welcome to Dr. Jaya's Virtual School. Like School Level 4. Non-academic week language skills. Listening, speaking, poetry and story. Listening, endangered animals. Speaking, examining some of our extinct animal species. Poetry, Hiawatha's hunting. Story, the fighting roosters and the eagle. Endangered animals. Listening. Dear friends, listen to this. Throughout the years, man has contributed to the extinction of many animals, including the giant dodo and the passenger pigeon. Today, there are over 5,000 endangered animals, and each year, one of these species comes to an end. Many of the smaller animals simply disappear without anyone being aware, but we owe it to our world and our animal friends to become more concerned about saving those we can from the threat of extinction. The mountain gorilla is a truly exceptional animal that lives only in the high altitudes near the Virgona volcanoes. These volcanoes are found in the eastern African countries of Zaire, Uganda and Rwanda. There are only about 700 of these gorillas alive today, and they are the most endangered of all the gorilla species. These animals are hunted and killed, but they are also losing their only habitat as the forests are being destroyed to create livestock grazing areas. The beautiful Siberian tiger is in extreme danger of surviving in the wild over the next 5 years because there are less than 200 that still roam the jungles and forests. These tigers are alive today because of special nature preserves created to house them in the wild. Many natives will attack the animals even in the preserve because the money made from killing one tiger is enough to feed his family for a year. In Britain, there are 14 different species of bats, and each of these species has been placed on the list of endangered animals. While some people are definitely not fond of these native night-loving creatures, they are very helpful in controlling the insect population. The rarest of all the Britain's bats is the one that is known as the greater horseshoe bat. There may only be 4,000 of these velvet-winged creatures that are alive today. Western Australia is home to a cute little animal known as the numbat, and this furry creature with its bushy tail, white markings and button eyes is becoming extinct in its native woodlands. Today it is only found in a very small southwestern section of Australia. As man expanded his reach into the wilderness, he often brought cats and dogs to the area, and these animals have killed many of the gentle and harmless numbats. Large-scale land clearing is also responsible for the decreased number of these adorable mammals. The Mediterranean Sea, the Black Sea and the Atlantic Ocean are all home to the loggerhead turtle, who is among the top 10 of endangered animal species. People have hunted this beautiful creature for food and cosmetic industries, use the fat of the turtle to make cosmetics. The poor loggerheads are caught in fishing nets and left to perish. And today there are hotels and stores being built on their breeding and nesting sites. Speaking, examining some of our extinct animal species. Dear friends, there are many animals which were there are not now here. Sometimes we do not think of all the animals that have become extinct in just a short period of time. Often these animals may be very small fish or amphibians that we barely knew existed, but even large animals can be forced into extinction. In fact, over 800 animal species have become extinct in the last 500 years due to human interference. In 1883, in the Amsterdam Zoo, the last quagga died, and sadly people did not realize that this was the very last of the quaggas. This animal pictured looked similar to a zebra, and at that time it was thought that all quaggas were zebras or all zebras were quaggas. This animal was brown and white instead of black and white, and the stripes were only on the head, neck and chest area. However, once the tragedy of the quagga's extinction was discovered, people wondered how they could ever make the situation better. Now there is a project underway to try to bring the quagga back. The reason that is maybe possible is because these animals are a subspecies of a zebra group that still exists, and through selective breeding it may be possible to once again have quaggas in our world. The dodo is another animal that is now extinct due to interference by man. These birds were first sighted in 1505, but by 1680 they were already gone forever. Dodos were a species of large birds that could not fly, and they were not good runners either. Originally, they lived on the island of Mauritius, where there was food and water and no natural enemies. When people began to come to the island, they brought animals like dogs, rats, and pigs that destroyed the nets and caught the dodos. Other birds that were hunted to extinction include the passenger pigeon and the beautifully colored Carolina parakeet. The heath hen is another now extinct bird that was once plentiful in America. James Audubon was one of the first to alert people to this animal's low numbers in the wild due to overhunting. In the early 20th century, there were attempts to keep the species alive, but the results were unsuccessful, and the last heath hen died in 1932. Another animal that is lost to us is the Sumerian wolf, which was related to the kangaroos. This very interesting creature looked like a wolf with tiger markings across its neck, back, and a pouch for carrying its young. The dingo of Australia, sheep farmers, and finally disease all contributed to the loss of this animal. Stellar sea cows were large ocean-dwelling animals that were even bigger than the manatee. In 1740, it is believed there were already perhaps only 1 to 2,000 of these creatures in the wild. They were hunted for their height and meet and became extinct during the next 30 years. Poetry. Hiawatha's Hunting by Henry W. Longfellow. Here is a poetry by Longfellow about the Native American Indians hunting, named Hiawatha. Forth into the forest straightway, all alone walked Hiawatha, proudly with his bow and arrow, and the birds sang round him, over him. Do not shoot us, Hiawatha, sang the robin, the Opechee, sang the bluebird, the Oesa. Do not shoot us, Hiawatha. Up the oak tree, close beside him, sprang the squirrel, Edgellama. In and out among the branches, coughed and chattered from the oak tree, laughed and said between his laughing, Do not shoot me, Hiawatha. And the rabbit from his pathway leaped aside and at a distance sat erect upon his haunches, half in fear and half in frolic, saying to be little hunter, Do not shoot me, Hiawatha. But he heeded not, nor heard them, for his thoughts were with the red deer. On their tracks his eyes were fastened, leading downward to the river, to the ford across the river, and as one in slumber walked he, hidden in the alder bushes. There he waited till the deer came, till he saw two antlers lifted, saw two eyes look from the thicket, saw two nostrils point to windward, and a deer came down the pathway, flecked with leafy light and shadow, and his heart within him fluttered, trembled like the leaves above him, like the birch leaf palpitated, as the deer came down the pathway, then upon one knee uprising. Hiawatha aimed an arrow, scarce a twig moved with his motion, scarce a leaf was stirred or rustled, but the very roebuck started, stamped with all his hoofs together, listened with one foot uplifted, leaped as if to meet the arrow. Ah, the singing, fatal arrow! Like a wasp it buzzed and stung him. Dead he lay there in the forest, by the ford across the river, beat his timid heart no longer, but the heart of Hiawatha throbbed and shouted and exulted as he bore the red deer homeward, and Ego and Nokomis hailed his coming with applauses. From the red deer's hide, Nokomis made a cloak for Hiawatha. From the red deer's flesh, Nokomis made a banquet in his honor. All the village came and feasted. All the guests praised Hiawatha, called him Strong Heart, Son Get Ta, called him Loon Heart, Ma Go Tai. But in the wake of extinction and endangered, do we think Hiawatha has done a good work? You think. Speak this to your friends. Story: The Fighting Roosters and the Eagle, retold by S.E. Scholzer. it! Black Rooster crowed to himself when he spotted Red Cock flittering with the hens again. Have had it with that impudent rooster. I am the master of the farm yard, not him. Black Rooster threw back his head and crowed loudly, "Cock-a-doodle-doo, I will fight you." Red Rooster turned around slowly, fluffing out every feather on his body as he moved. "Oh ye, just try it," he replied. The hens quacked and gabbled as the two roosters flew towards each other. They huddled together as the roosters pecked and kicked and pounded one another with outstretched wings. Feathers flew everywhere. Red Rooster aimed a mighty blow to Black Rooster's head, but Black Rooster ducked and bit Red Rooster's leg. Red Rooster screamed in rage and pummeled Black Rooster with his wings. But Black Rooster was older and wilier than Red Rooster and hustled out of reach. Then Black Rooster bit Red Rooster from behind, right in the shoulder. Red Rooster screamed in agony and flapped away to a private corner to bleed in misery. "I won!" Black Rooster crowed in delight. "I won!" He threw out his chest and flapped mightily. Then he flew up to the top of a high wall and stretched his wings to their full length, calling exultantly at the top of his voice, "I am the winner." High above the farmyard, Eagle floated lazily on an updraft. His keen eye was searching for his next meal when he spotted Black Rooster dancing atop the high wall. His keen ear heard Black Rooster crowing in triumph. "Oh ha! Dinner at last," said Eagle, folding his wings and diving towards the ground. "I won! I won! I, the mighty Black Rooster, have won!" Black Rooster strutted and danced on the high wall above the farmyard. Beneath him, the hens cackled wildly and flattened themselves on the ground as a shadow blotted out the sky. "I were!" Black Rooster's triumphant crow was cut off as Eagle snatched him off the wall and carried him away in his mighty talons. Red Rooster peered anxiously from his corner and saw Black Rooster floating away in the eagle's grasp. A few black feathers cascaded down onto the head of a broody hen sitting on a nest in the shade of the wall. Red Rooster shook his feathers into place, gave his wounded shoulder a quick preen, and strutted out into the farmyard. "You may have won, but I am the master of the farmyard," he called after the retreating black speck floating skywards in Eagle's talons, and all the hens, strutting back into the yard to feed, happily agreed. The moral of the story is, pride goes before destruction. Welcome to Dr. Jaya's Virtual School. Like School Level 4. Non-Academic Week 8 Language Skills. Vocabulary: water. Water vocabulary: groundwater. Groundwater means water in the ground stored between rock spaces. Aquifer: an underground rock formation that yields significant quantities of water that may be pumped to the surface for use by people, livestock or irrigation. The main source of drinking water for most Enum communities. Well, a hole dug or drilled into the ground for the purpose of pumping up water from the underground water. The pipe with a pump used to bring groundwater to the surface. Water table, the name of the uppermost level of groundwater. Surface water. Surface water, water above the surface of the land, including lakes, rivers, streams, ponds, flood water and runoff. Flood, an overflow of water onto lands that are used or usable by humans and not normally covered by water. Pollution, dirt or poison in the environment. Dumping waste, oil, pesticides and sediments into the water causes this. Erosion, the process in which a material, a river bank, is worn away by a stream of liquid, that is water or air, often due to the presence of abrasive particles in the stream. Watershed, the land area from which snow melt and rain drain into a stream, channel, lake, reservoir or other body of water, also called a drainage basin. Earth's water, fresh water, found in streams, rivers, lakes, reservoirs and swamps. Earth's surface 71% covered in water. Earth's water 97% is salt water, 3% is fresh water, only 0.0003% is readily available as drinking water. Water cycle, evaporation, the conversion of water into a vapor, usually through the application of heat energy. Precipitation, water falling in a liquid or solid state from the atmosphere to earth. Condensation, when water vapor becomes a liquid. Infiltration, percolation, downward movement of water through the soil profile or other porous medium. Transpiration, water absorbed by plants that is evaporated into the atmosphere from the plant leaves. Properties of water. Ice, the solid that is formed when water freezes. H2O, the chemical abbreviation for water. Physical states of water, gas, solid and liquid. Hydrology, the scientific study of water on Earth's surface, in the soil and underlying rocks and the atmosphere. Water in our bodies, approximate percentage of water in our bodies is 65%, but can range from 50 to 70%. Others, desert, a region that receives less than 10% of precipitation per year. Xeriscape, the use of low water use plants in landscape. Xeros is Greek for dry, not xeriscape. Listening, North American Indians culture. North American Indians culture. Many different Indian groups lived in North America. Each group had its own language and customs. A custom is the special way a group of people does something. Several groups of Indians often shared the same culture. A culture is the way of life of a group of people. The language they speak, the clothes they wear, the food they eat, and the religion they believe in, all are part of the culture. Indian groups that shared the same culture had the same way of finding food and building houses. They depended on the same natural resources and used them in the same way. For example, the Plains Indians shared the same land, dressed the same way, spoke the same language, hunted for food, and practiced religion in the same way. That is why they are considered to be their own culture group. North American Indians were divided into 5 cultures: the Northwest culture, the California Intermountain culture, the Southwest culture, the Plains culture, the Eastern Woodland culture. Native American homes were designed so that they could be moved easily. The most common home was called a wigwam. It was a covered wooden frame shaped like a cone. The coverings were carried from location to location. Wigwams usually housed 10 to 12 people. When a new wigwam was needed, women often worked together to build it. This was an important task and one that took skill and knowledge. Northwest culture had wooden lodges, and they were totem poles, potlatch ceremonies. California Intermountain culture had wick-ips, basket making. Southwest culture had adobe apartment buildings, which had also their interesting facts are pottery and basket making, kachina dolls, plain sculpture, tipis, war bonnets. Eastern woodland culture had longhouses, wigwams, lacrosse, wampum, and weaving. The tipi was the home of the Plains Indians. The frame of the tipi was made of long wooden poles pointed together and fastened at the top. The bottoms were spread out to form a circle. This was covered with a tent of animal skin which fastened to the ground. These Indians would often paint decorations on the outside of the tipi. The Plains Indians would have a fireplace inside the tipi. This form of home could quickly be taken down when the Plains Indians moved to follow the buffalo. Speaking American Indian proverbs and sayings. American Indian proverbs and sayings. Judge not by the eye, but from the heart. You must speak straight so that your words may go as sunlight into our hearts. Thoughts are like arrows. Once released, they strike their mark. Guard them well, or one day you may be your own victim. It is less a problem to be poor than to be dishonest. If the Great Spirit had desired me to be a white man, He would have made me so in the first place. It is not necessary for eagles to be crows. The ones that matter most are the children. They are the true human beings. The Great Spirit is not perfect. It has a good side and a bad side. Sometimes the bad side gives us more knowledge than the good side. A good man does not take what belongs to someone else. Look at me. I am poor and naked, but I am the chief of the nation. We do not want riches, but we do want to train our children right. Riches would do us no good. We could not take them with us to the other world. We do not want riches. We want peace and love. Even in paradise, living all alone would be hell. It makes no difference as to the name of the God, since love is the real God of all the world. Poem America the Beautiful. America the beautiful. That's what the song says. Those words sing loud and every day that I am alive. I see those words before my eyes. Anywhere I chance to look, in my heart this land will stay, America the beautiful. Open meadows, clear blue skies, hills all covered green. I have been so many places, there's much that I have seen. America the beautiful, that's what the song says. America the beautiful will remain my home, sweet home. If for some unknown reason you are unhappy with this land, you can always feel free to leave, but in a freer country you will never stand. Story, an American story. Rainbow and the Autumn Leaves, Native American folk tale. In olden days, long before the Indians came to Canada, all the animals talked and worked like men. Every year after midsummer, they held a great council at which they were all present. But it happened once in the summer, before the council met, that they all wanted to go to the sky to see what the country up there was like. None of them could find a way to go. The oldest and the wisest creature on all the earth was Turtle. One day he prayed to the thunder god to take him to the sky, and his prayer was soon answered. There was a great noise, as if the earth had been split asunder, and when the people next looked for Turtle, he was nowhere to be found. They reached everywhere without success, but that evening, when they looked upward, they saw him in the sky, moving about like a black cloud. Turtle liked the sky so well that he decided to live there always and to send his descendants later to the earth. And the sky people agreed to keep him. They asked him, "Where do you want to dwell?" And he answered, "I should like to dwell in the black cloud, in which are the ponds and streams, and lakes and springs of water, for I always dwelt near these places when I was young." So he was allowed to have his wish, but when the great council of animals met on earth in the time of the harvest moon, he was always present. He came in the black cloud, but he always went back to the sky after the council was ended, and other animals envied him his good fortune, and they wished that they could go with him. After a time, the animals were greatly distressed and angered by the rumor that a new race of creatures was coming from far over the ocean to inhabit their land. They talked it over very carefully, and they all thought how fortunate it would be if they could all go to the sky with old Turtle and live like him, free from fear and trouble and care. But they were puzzled to know how to get there, for Turtle had never told any of them the way. One day, Deed, wandering about alone in the forest, as was his custom, came across a rainbow. Rainbow, who often built a path of many colors to the sky, and he said to Rainbow, carry me up to the sky, for I want to see Turtle." But Rainbow was afraid to do it, for he wished first to ask the thunder god for permission, and he put Deer off and to gain time he said, "Come to me in winter when I stay for a time on the mountain near the lake. Then I will gladly carry you to the place where turtle dwells." Throughout the long winter months, they looked longingly for Rainbow, but Rainbow did not come. Life was growing harder on the earth, and the animals were in terror of the new race that was soon to come to their land, and Deer was very timid and impatient. At last, one day in the early summer, Rainbow came again. The Deer hastened to meet him. "Why were you false to me?" he asked. "I waited for you all winter long on the mountain by the lake, but you did not come as you promised. I want to go to the sky now, for I must see turtles." Rainbow answered, "I cannot take you now, but someday when there is a fog over the lake, I shall come back to drive it away. Come to me then, and I shall take you to the sky and to the place where turtle dwells. This time I will not deceive you." Rainbow consulted the thunder god and received permission to do as Deer wished. Soon afterwards, the fog one day rolled in a thick bank across the lake, and Deer hurried out to wait for Rainbow. Sure enough, Rainbow came down as he had promised to drive the fog away. He threw his art of many colors from the lake to the blue hills far away, and the fog at once disappeared from the place. And he said to Deer, who stood watching him, "Now I will keep my promise. Follow my many-colored path over the hills and the forests and the streams, and be not afraid, and you will soon reach Turtle's home in the sky." Deer did as he was told, and soon he reached the sky. Turtle was glad to see him, and Deer liked the country so well that he decided to stay forever. And he roamed over the sky everywhere, moving like the wind from place to place. When midsummer had passed and the harvest moon had come, and the great council again met together, Deer was absent for the first time in his life. The animals waited long for him to appear, for they needed his advice, but he did not come. They sent the birds out to find him. Black hawk and woodpecker and blue jay all sought him in the forest, but they could not find a trace of him. Then wolf and fox scoured the woods far and near, but they came back and reported that he could not be found anywhere. At last, Turtle arrived at the meeting of the great council, as was his custom, coming in his black cloud, in which were the ponds and lakes and streams and springs of water. And Bear said, "Deer is absent from the council meeting. Where is Deer? We cannot meet without him, for we need his advice." And Turtle replied, "Deer is in the sky. Have you not heard? Rainbow made a wonderful pathway for him of many varied colors, and by that he came to the sky. There he is now." And he pointed to a golden cloud scurrying across the sky overhead. Turtle advised that the animals should all go to the sky to live until they could be sure that the new race of creatures would bring them no harm. And he showed them the pathway that Rainbow had made, stretching from the earth in wonderful colors. The animals all agreed at that great council to take Turtle's advice, but they were all very angry at Deer for leaving them without warning, for they thought that all the animals should either stay together faithfully on the earth or go all together to the sky. Bear showed the greatest anger and annoyance. Because of his great strength, he had no fear of the new race that was said soon to be coming, and he had always been inclined to look with scorn on Deer's timid and impatient ways. Deer has forsaken us, he said. He deserted us in the hour of our danger, and that is contrary to forest laws and to our code of defense. And he thought to himself, I shall punish him for this when the time comes. In the late autumn, the time agreed upon came for the animals to leave the earth, and Rainbow again made his bright path for them to the sky. Bear was the first to go up because he was the leader, and because with his great weight he wanted to test the strength of the bridge of burning colors over which they had to pass. When he had almost reached the sky, he met Deer on the path, waiting to welcome the animals to their new home. And he said to him in anger, Why did you leave us behind without warning for the land of the turtle? Why did you desert the great council? Why did you not wait until all could come together? You are a traitor to our comrades, and you have been false to our faith. And Deer answered also in anger, Who are you to doubt me or my faith? None but the wolf may ask me why I cannot or question my fidelity. I will kill you for your insolence. Deer had grown very proud since he had gone to live in the sky, and he was no longer timid as he had been on earth. His eyes flashed in his fury, and he arched his neck and lowered his antler's head and rushed madly at Bear to push him from the path. But Bear was not afraid, for he had often tested his strength with Deer upon the earth. His low, hoarse growls sounded all over the sky, and he prepared to fight. They came together with a shock. For a long time they battled, until the bridge of burning colors trembled and the heavens shook from the force of the conflict. The animals waiting by the lake at the end of the path looked up and saw the battle above them. They feared the result, for they wanted neither Bear nor Deer to die. So they sent Wolf up to the sky to put a stop to the contest. When Wolf reached the combat, Bear was bleeding freely, and Deer with his antlers had pierced his neck and thigh. Deer too was bleeding, where Bear's strong claws had torn a great wound in his head. Wolf soon stopped the battle, and Bear and Deer went away to dress their wounds. Then the other animals went up the sky over Rainbow's flaming path, and they decided to live in the sky and to send their descendants back to earth when the new race of creatures should come. And they can still sometimes be seen like clouds hurrying across the sky in the shape they had on earth. But the blood of Bear and Deer dropped from them as they moved to the sky from the scene of their battle along the rainbow road. It fell freely upon the leaves of the trees beneath them and changed them into varied colors. And every year when autumn comes in the north country, the leaves take on again the bright and wondrous colors given to them by the blood of Bear and Deer when they fought on the rainbow path ages and ages ago. And Bear and Deer have never since been friends, and their descendants no longer dwell together in peace as they did in the olden days. Welcome to Dr. Jaya's Virtual School. Like School Level 4. Non-Academic Week 9 Language Skills. Language Skills: Listening, Light; Speaking, River's Kingdom; Poem, Little White Horse; Story, The Rabbit and the Coyote. Light. Light that can be kind, light that can smell sweet, light that can be soft, light that can be porcelain, light that can be silent, light that can speak, light that can hold many colors, light that can be romantic, light that can be harsh, light that can be cold, light that can be warm, light that can be dry, light that can be loud, light that can be love, light that can be faith, light that can be full of strength, light that can be pure, light that can be dark, light that can be fragile, light that can be crazy, light that can be weird, light that can be old, light that can be new, light that can be in between, light that can be swift, light that can be sharp, light that can wonder, light that can be insane, light that can be smooth, light that can dream, light that can be free, light that can be everlasting, light that can be wild, light that is the Lord, light that is Jesus, light that is holy, light that is the Trinity, light that can belong, light that can be fast, light that can sing, light that is the Holy Ghost, light that is the Bible, light that can be a myth, light that can be still, light that can be different, light that can be whole, light that can be true, light that can be whimsical, light that can be bright, light that can be formed, light that is blessed, light that can be full of presence, light that can tell a story, light that can be intelligent, light that is like no other. Shania K. Uni. Light. Light that can be kind, light that can smell sweet, light that can be soft, light that can be porcelain, light that can be silent, light that can speak, light that can hold many colors, light that can be romantic, light that can be harsh, light that can be cold, light that can be warm, light that can be dry, light that can be loud, light that can be love, light that can be faith, light that can be full of strength, light that can be pure, light that can be dark, light that can be fragile, light that can be crazy, light that can be weird, light that can be old, light that can be new, light that can be in between, light that can be swift, light that can be sharp, light that can wonder, light that can be insane, light that can be smooth, light that can dream, light that can be free, light that can be everlasting, light that can be wild, light that is the Lord, light that is Jesus, light that is holy, light that is the Trinity, light that can belong, light that can be fast, light that can sing, light that is the Holy Ghost, light that is the Bible, light that can be a myth, light that can be still, light that can be different, light that can be whole, light that can be true, light that can be whimsical, light that can be bright, light that can be formed, light that is blessed, light that can be full of presence, light that can tell a story, light that can be intelligent, light that is like no other. Shania K. Uni. Speaking, Reverse Kingdom. Reverse Kingdom is, I was told that in the Reverse Kingdom, birds swim and fish fly. That cats don't go meow but say yes because they learn a lot of English. I was told that in Reverse Kingdom, nobody dances with his feet. That a thief is a policeman and another is a judge. And that two and two are three. I was told that in Reverse Kingdom, a bear can get into a walnut, that babies have beards and mustaches, and that a year lasts a month. I was told that in the Reverse Kingdom, there's a Peknisi dog that falls upwards, and one time he couldn't get down after he had fallen. I was told that in the Reverse Kingdom, a man named Andrew has 1530 chimpanzees that you can see if you look at them. I was told that in Reverse Kingdom, a spider and a centipede ride on chess horses in the Marquis Palace. Let's go and see how the Reverse Kingdom is. Poem. Little white horse, little white horse, take me away, take me to the town where I was born. I have. You have nothing. I have 3 sheep in a cabin. One gives me milk, another gives me wool, and another butter. A whole week's full. Story. The Rabbit and the Coyote, South American folk tale. This is the story of Uncle Rabbit and the Coyote. The rabbit came to a big rock and there he deceived the coyote. He was leaning on the rock when the coyote came by. What are you doing, brother? The coyote asked the rabbit. Come here quickly, brother. The sky is falling down on top of us. Lean against the rock and hold it up while I go for a stick. Well, prop it up with that, said the rabbit to the coyote. All right, said the coyote, and began holding it up with all his might. Since the coyote was so stupid, he did exactly what the rabbit told him to. The rabbit had said that he was going to get a stick, but he went and left the coyote holding up the rock. When the rabbit didn't return, the coyote shouted, Come back, brother, the weight of the rock has made me tired. The rabbit still didn't come back. No matter, I am going to leave even though the sky may fall down on top of us, said the coyote. But when he ran away, he fell into a ravine. The rabbit never came back to the rock and the coyote was lost. Later, the rabbit came to a pond and saw the reflection of the moon in there. As the rabbit was very tricky, he was always deceiving the coyote. The thumb coyote always followed him and didn't know what the rabbit was deceiving him. He was so dumb. The coyote came to the pond where the rabbit was. When he saw the coyote coming, he began to drink the water from the pond. What are you drinking, brother? The coyote asked the rabbit. Look, brother, there's a lot of food down there, answered the rabbit. What kind of food? Look, the rabbit told the coyote. The coyote looked in the water and said, I see it. What is it? There's a cheese in the water, the rabbit said to the coyote. If we drink all the water, we can get the cheese. Drink it. You are big and you can finish all the water. All right, brother, he said and began to drink the water. I'm going for a walk, said the rabbit and left. The coyote continued to drink the water, but the rabbit was gone. The coyote's stomach began to hurt him and he got the runs. He wasn't able to finish the water, so the coyote abandoned the effort and left. Welcome to Dr. Jaya's Virtual School. Like School Level 4. Non-Academic Week 10 Language Skills. Language Skills. Listening, sound terms, speaking, how does sound in air differ from sound in water? Poem, now winter nights enlarge, the story, the disobedient son. Listening. Terms and definitions. Pitch, how high or low a sound is. Frequency, the number of waves that pass a certain spot in a certain amount of time. Hertz, the unit to measure frequency, how many sound waves pass a point each second. Humans can hear sounds ranging from 20 to 20,000 hertz. Sound, the energy in the form of vibrations that can be heard. Vibrations, rapid back and forth movements in matter, causing rattling or shaking. Wave, a regular disturbance that transfers energy. Wavelength, the distance from one point of a wave to the same point on the next wave. Sound waves travel in what motion? Circular movements. Why can't sound travel in empty space? Because they need something such as air or water to vibrate. Low-pitched sounds have what kind of frequency? Low frequency. Do humans hear all sounds? No. Decibel, the most common unit to measure loudness. The louder the sound, the more dash it carries, energy. Reflection, the bouncing of a wave of its surface. Echo, a reflected sound wave. Reverberation, a long drawn out sound caused by a collection of echoes. Transmit, to allow to pass through. Absorb, a substance that takes in sound waves and does not allow it to echo. Refraction, the bending of a wave as it moves from one material to another. Diffraction, the bending of a wave around an object. Ear canal, a tunnel that leads from the outer ear to the eardrum. Eardrum, a membrane between the outer ear and the middle ear that vibrates when sound waves hit it. Hammer, the outermost bone in the series of three small bones in the middle ear, anvil, the middle bone in the series of three small bones, stirrup, the innermost bone in the series of three in the middle ear, cochlear, inside the inner ear, the spiral-shaped structure that turns vibrations into nerve messages, auditory nerve, the nerve that sends the messages about sounds to the brain. Speaking. How does sound in air differ from sound in water? Sound in water and sound in air are both waves that move similarly and can be characterized the same way. Sound waves can travel through any substance, including gases such as air, liquids such as water, and solids such as the sea floor. Did you know that sound cannot exist if it does not have something to travel through? For example, sound cannot travel through outer space because it is a vacuum that contains nothing to carry sound. Even though sound waves in water and sound waves in air are basically similar, the way that sound levels in water and sound levels in air are reported is very different, and comparing sound levels in water and air must be done carefully. When we describe a sound as loud or soft, scientists say that the sound has a high or low amplitude or intensity. Amplitude refers to the change in pressure as the sound wave passes by. If you increase the amplitude of a sound, you are making it louder, but as you do when you turn off the volume on your radio. If you decrease the amplitude, you are making the sound softer, just as when you turn down the volume. The amplitude of a wave is related to the amount of energy it carries. A high amplitude wave carries a large amount of energy. A low amplitude wave carries a small amount of energy. The average amount of energy passing through a unit area per unit time in a specified direction is called the intensity of the wave. As the amplitude of the sound wave increases, the intensity of the sound increases. Sounds with higher intensities are perceived to be louder. The amount of energy per unit time is called power. The intensity of a sound wave is therefore the amount of power transmitted through a specified area in the direction in which the sound is traveling. The decibel is a relative unit of measure, not an absolute one as the watts per square meter. Confusion arises because sound levels given in dB in water are not the same as sound levels given in dB in air. There are two reasons for this: reference intensities and densities and sound speeds. Poem. Now winter nights enlarge this number of their hours, and clouds their storms discharge upon the airy towers. Let now the chimneys blaze, let well-tuned words amaze with harmony divine. This time doth world dispense with lovers' long discourse. Much speech hath some defense, though beauty no remorse. All do not all things well. Some measures comely treat, some knotted riddles tell, some poems smoothly read. The summer hath his joys, and winter his delights. Though love and all his pleasures are but toys, they shorten tedious nights. Story. The Disobedient Son, South American Folktale. The Disobedient Son, South American Folktale. There was once a boy who was rude and wouldn't obey his mother. He would go out for a walk without having eaten. He wouldn't come back until late, about 10 or 11 o'clock at night. At 10 o'clock his mother was still waiting up and worrying about him. "What have you been doing, son?" his mother asked him. "I am going to bed because it's late and I have just been waiting for you. You don't pay any attention to anything I tell you. I am going to send you to your godfather. You don't pay any attention to what I tell you." The boy's mother went to see her compadre, the priest. "Compadre, what do you be done about your godson? He is quite a scoundrel and doesn't obey me. You are a priest and you can counsel and discipline this godson of yours. I can't do anything with him. This godson of yours is a rascal. Compadre, let him come to stay here with you to see if he will learn to obey and behave." "All right, compadre, have him come here. Why shouldn't he do what I tell him? I am indeed a priest. I will teach my godson to work. Don't worry, compadre, my godson is going to obey me." The woman said to her son, "Go with your godfather, my son. He will teach you. Since you won't obey me, go and work there." "All right, mother. I will go to my godfather's. Since I am not of any use to you, I'll go and work with my godfather." "I have come, godfather. What can I do for you?" "Go stay with your godfather," my mother said. "That's why I came here to you. My mother is the one who sent me. Go to your godfather. You are no longer of any use to me," my mother said. "All right, godson," the priest said to him. "You are going to work for me." "All right, godfather. I am going to work. I am going to do whatever you tell me to do. Everything you tell me, I will do, godfather." "All right. Now I am going to tell you something," said the priest. "Godson, tomorrow morning, early you are going to sweep at 3 o'clock in the morning. I am not going to awaken you. I am just telling you now." "All right," said the boy. At dawn he went and swept. When he was finished sweeping, he went to tell his godfather, the priest. "Godfather, I have finished sweeping all of the church, so I have come to tell you." "All right, godson, I am glad you have finished. Now rest." Another day passed, and the godfather gave him his next task. "Now, godson, I am going to tell you what you have to do tomorrow morning. You are going to ring the bell at 6 o'clock. I want you to ring 3 times, and when you are finished, come and tell me, and I'll go to say Mass." "All right," said the boy. When the next day was over, the boy went to ring the bell. He went to tell his godfather, "Godfather, I rang the bell 3 times. It's time to get up and go and say Mass." He told his godfather. "All right," said the godfather. Another day was over, and the priest spoke once more to the godson. "Now I am going to tell you once more what you have to do tomorrow." "All right," said the boy. "Ring the bell again early at 3 o'clock in the morning." "All right," said the boy. The boy got up and remembered to ring the bell. He went to ring the bell in the belfry, but the priest, his godfather, had given the boy a test. He had left a skeleton in the belfry. The boy got there at 3 o'clock in the morning and found a skeleton standing in his way. He said to the skeleton, "Get out of my way. I am coming to ring the bell. Don't get in my way. Get out of my way, for my godfather sent me to ring the bell. Get out of my way, or I will kill you." He didn't get out of the way. He did not move and he did not answer. "Answer, or do you want me to kill you?" the boy asked the skeleton. "If for the third time you don't answer me, I am going to smash you to pieces." "That's what you want? That's why you got in my way? So now you are going to die. I am going to throw you all the way down from here." And he pushed the skeleton out of the belfry. When he had smashed the skeleton, he rang the bell and came down from the belfry. He went to his godfather's bedroom and knocked on the door to awaken him. The godfather woke up and answered the door. "What is it?" the priest asked the boy. "Get up, I have already rung the bell," the boy told the priest. The priest heard this and was surprised. "Oh, did you ring the bell?" asked the priest. "Yes, I rang the bell, godfather," the boy said. "Didn't you see anything in the belfry?" asked the priest. "Yes, godfather," the boy answered. "I saw something." "What did you see?" the priest asked the boy. "I saw someone who was standing in my way, who wouldn't let me get by to ring the bell," the boy answered. "Oh, so what did you see?" asked the priest. "Weren't you afraid of him?" "No, godfather." "So what did you do?" "I pushed him and he fell and broke into pieces on the floor." "Oh, your mother told me the truth about you being a rascal," the priest said to the boy. "So you weren't afraid of him. You are a rascal of a God's son. Rest. Tomorrow you will work once more." He sent him to another place to work and asked him not to return until he brings the answer. There he saw a devil. "I won't go," said the little devil. "You are not the one giving the orders around here." "Come with me," said the boy as he seized the little devil's ear with the pincers and took him by the hand. The boy set off and came back to his godfather's 4 years after having left to take the letter. He came back one night and awakened his godfather. Oh, the godfather was taken aback when he saw that the boy had written. "Who are you?" the priest asked the boy. "It's me, godfather, it's me. Get up right away, for I have brought you your answer. Get up right away." The priest was perplexed because he thought that the boy was never going to return. He got up and opened the door. When he saw the boy, he was frightened. "Here's your answer, godfather. Here I brought you your answer, because the master wasn't there. That's why I brought you this little devil as your answer." Dear friends, just see how disobedient is this son. He has obeyed his godfather everything and all he did. But the godfather wanted to get rid of him, and he sent him to do much difficult work, but he did it. So let us understand that we should obey our parents and do it the same thing what we do for others. The term compadre refers to the godfather of one's child or the father of one's godchild. The term comadre refers to the godmother of one's child or the mother of one's godchild. Welcome to Dr. Jaya's Virtual School. Like School Level 4. Non-Academic Week 11 Language Skills. Language skills: listening, magnetic terms, speaking, children of Persia, poem, the herring song, traditional song, story, Barbo and the Giant, an European folk tale. Listening time. Magnetic terms. Air gap, the distance between the north and south poles of a magnetic circuit. Anisotropic, a material that has a preferred direction of magnetic orientation. Corrosive force, the intensity of a magnetic field. Curie temperature, the temperature that a magnetic substance loses its magnetic properties. Demagnetizing force, a magnetized force applied in a direction that reduces the field in a magnetized material. Flux, another term for the magnetic field. Gauss, the unit of magnetic induction. Gauss meter, an instrument used to measure the intensity of a magnetic field. Gradient indicates the change in magnetic strength. Intrinsic corrosive force, measurement of magnetic materials. Isotropic, a material with no preferred direction of orientation. Magnet, a material that has the property, either natural or induced, of attracting iron or steel. Magnetic field, the space around a magnet. Magnetic flux, the total magnetic induction. Magnetic induction, the production of magnetic properties. Magnetic lines of force, a series of invisible lines passing from one pole to another of a magnet. Magnetic orientation determines the magnetic polarity and position of one magnet pole to the other. Magnetic saturation, the maximum amount of magnetic energy. Maximum energy product, the point on the BH curve where the product of B and H is a maximum. Maximum operating temperature, a magnet can withstand without significant long-range instability. MgO, mega-Gauss arrested. North pole, the pole of a magnet that when freely suspended would point to the north magnetic pole of the earth. Oersted, the unit of magnetic intensity. Pole pieces, steel plates attached to the north and south poles of a magnet. Pull test, a test of holding value or breakaway force. Reach out, the distance in which a magnetic field will extend from the magnetic source. Residual magnetism, small amount of magnetism that remain in a material after being exposed to magnetic force. Speaking. Children of Persia. Children of Persia, some are the brothers of humankind and own them whatsoever their estate, and some for sorrow and self-scorn, man's enmity with unguarded fate. Feel the love tonight, I will cherish you, children of Persia, children of Persia. I put a smile on the faces of you all, so show your smile. For me in return, I give you prizes for being the children of Persia. I light up your life, children of Persia. I share this music that fills my heart with you, children of Persia. This is your song, children of Persia. So let's sing it along. The magic comes along. God will lift up your spirit, children of Persia. If you need to cry, children of Persia, I will understand. Go ahead and cry. If you want to laugh, laugh your heart out, children of Persia. I won't let you fall, children of Persia. I will never abandon you, children of Persia. This is your song. Let all your fears die, children of Persia. I am your friend, children of Persia. What are you doing to do at the end? What are you going to do at the end? Children of Persia, I believe you all could fly. Won't you light the way, God, for the children of Persia? Children of Persia, believe in your dreams. Don't give up your hopes, children of Persia. When tears are in your eyes, children of Persia, I will dry them. I am on your side, children of Persia, when times are rough, children of Persia. I believe that somewhere in the darkest light a candle glows, children of Persia. I believe that the prayers you are saying will be answered, children of Persia. Children of Persia, you all live from day to day. And you children of Persia, don't borrow from the sunshine. Children of Persia, your future is written in the stars. Children of Persia, I don't want to watch you all down. Children of Persia, don't worry about tomorrow, because tomorrow will worry for itself. I don't want to hurt you, children of Persia. This is true. I am being honest with all children of Persia. Alto Crass. Poem. The Herring Song, a traditional song. Fa la 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 lie do. Fa la 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 lie do lie day. What do we do with the herring's tail? Oh, what do we do with the herring's tail? Herring's tail, foot and shoes, herring's fins, needles and pins, herring's head, loaves of bread, and all sorts of things. Of all the fish that swim in the sea, the herring is the one for me. Sing, fa la 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 lie do, fa la 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 lie do, fa la 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 lie do lie day. Oh, what do we do with the herring's eyes? Oh, what do we do with the herring's eyes? Herring's eyes, pickles and pies. Herring's tail, foot and shoes. Herring's fins, needles and pins. Herring's head, loaves of bread, and all sorts of things. Of all the fish that swim in the sea, the herring is the one for me. Oh, what do we do with the herring's back? Oh, what do we do with the herring's back? Herring's back, lad named Jack. Herring's eyes, pickles and pies. Herring's tail, foot and shoes. Herring's fins, needles and pins. Herring's head, loaves of bread, and all sorts of things. Of all the fish that swim in the sea, the herring is the one for me. What do we do with the herring's belly? Oh, what do we do with the herring's belly? Herring's belly, lass called Nelly. Herring's back, lad named Jack. Herring's eyes, pickles and pies. Herring's tail, foot and shoes. Herring's fins, needles and pins. Herring's head, loaves of bread, and all sorts of things. Of all the fish that swim in the sea, the herring is the one for me. Brabo and the Giant, an European folktale. Ages ago, when the giants were numerous on the earth, there lived a big fellow named Antigonus. He was rough and cruel. So every day one could see hundreds of white-sailed craft moving towards the sea, or coming in from the ocean. Boys and girls came down to stand in their wooden shoes on the banks to see the vessels moving to and fro. But one day this wicked giant came into the country to stop the ships and make them pay his money. Hear ye all, and obey. Anyone caught in helping a ship go by without paying toll, whether it be night or whether it be day, shall have his thumbs cut off and be put in the dark dungeon for a month. Again I say, obey. Soon on account of this, the city got a bad name. So some of them slipped out of the city and tried to get the ships to sail in the night and silently pass the giant's castle. But the giant's watchers on the towers were as wide awake as owls and greedy as hawks. They pounced on the ship captains, chopped off their hands and tossed them into the river. The townspeople who were found on board were thrown into the dungeons and had their thumbs cut off. So the prosperity of the city was destroyed, for the foreign merchants were afraid to send their ships into the giant's country. Now there was a brave young fellow named Brabo. He was proud of his country and her flag of yellow, black and red, and was loyal to his lord. He studied the castle well and saw a window where he could climb up into the giant's chamber. He then, going to the duke, Brabo promised if his lord's soldiers would storm the gates of the giant's castle, that he would seek out and fight the ruffian. At the given signal, hundreds of men holding ships' masts or tree trunks marched against the gates. But where was the giant? None of the captains could find him. Not one of the prisoners or the garrison could tell where he had hid. But Brabo knew that the big fellow, Antigonus, was not at all brave, but really only a bully and a coward. A pretty sight now revealed the fact that the people knew what had been going on and were proud of Brabo's valor. In a moment, every house in Antwerp showed lighted candles, and the city was illuminated. Issuing from the gates came a company of maidens. They were dressed in white, but their leader was robed in yellow, red, and black, the colors of the Brabant flag. They all sang in chorus the praises of Brabo, their hero. Welcome to Dr. Jaya's Virtual School. Like School Level 4. Non-Academic Week 12 Language Skills. Listening, exploration, and urge to know. Speaking, conversation. Poem, save energy. Story, wolf story. Listening. Exploration and urge to know. Explorers are usually thought of as people who purposely visit and study an unknown geographic area. The golden age of exploration began in the 15th century as sailors from Europe ventured out and explored the world, locating routes across its oceans and continents and defining the Earth's physical shape, size and position. Today, however, explorers are persons who systematically search, examine and investigate for the purpose of discovering unknowns in all aspects of our universe, making new discoveries and expanding frontiers in science, medicine, technology and our environment. The new interest in the world came in part from the Renaissance, but the main reason was to set up new trading links with spice-producing lands in Asia. Spices were as essential part of everyday life for the Europeans. Refrigeration had not yet been invented, so the only way to preserve meat was to salt it. Adding spice helped to hide the salty taste. The spices also concealed the taste of meat that had gone bad. Christopher Columbus hoped to reach India by sailing west. When the Portuguese king would not sponsor his voyage, he asked Ferdinand and Isabella of Spain. After 6 years, they agreed. When Columbus reached a group of islands across the Atlantic Ocean in 1492. He was certain he had reached his goal. Columbus called the native people Indians. This is why the Caribbean islands are known as the West Indies. Columbus made 3 more voyages to the Caribbean, but he never realized his mistake. Speaking, conversation. Complimenting someone's clothes. You look really nice today. Thank you. I just got this outfit the other day. Really? Where did you get it? I got it from Lifestyle. It's really nice. Thanks again. You look nice today too. Thank you. I just got these shoes today. Really? What kind of shoes are they? These are called Chucks. I really like those. How much did they cost? They were about rupees 3,000. I think I am going to go buy myself a pair. Here is another conversation, again praising, complimenting the dress. I absolutely love what you are wearing today. You do? I just bought this outfit a couple of days ago. Seriously? It looks really nice on you. Where did you buy it from? I bought it from the Lifestyle at City Center Mall. It's really nice. I really like that outfit. Thanks. I think you look nice today too. Thank you. I just bought these new shoes earlier today. Those are nice. What are they? These are some Chucks. Those are great. How much were they? I got them for 3,000 rupees. I think I must go and find me my own pair of Chucks. Here is yet another type of conversation which you can do it for complimenting the dress. I think that you look very cute today. Is it? Is that right? This is a brand new outfit. What store did you get it from? I went to Lifestyle and picked it out. It's really nice. I love your outfit right now. Well, I think you look nice today too. Thanks. I found these new shoes earlier at the store. I think that those are some really nice shoes. What kind are they? These are Chucks. Your shoes look really nice. How much did you get them for? They only cost me about 3,000 rupees. I am going to go get a pair for myself. Poem. Save energy, save energy. Energy song. Save energy, save energy. Save it to save man. Save energy, save energy. Save it all while you can. Remember, it isn't too late. Treat energy as your mate so that we can all live happily and enjoy our life merrily. Energy, energy, there's enough for you and me. If we don't use it carelessly, we can save our energy. Energy, energy, save an ocean, save a tree. We can do it easily if we save our energy. Turn off the lights if you don't have to see. If no one's watching, turn off TV and the radio and the microwave. So energy can save. Energy. There's enough for you and me. If we don't use it carelessly, we can save our energy. Energy. Save an ocean, save a tree. We can do it easily if we save our energy. Recycle your bottles, recycle your cans, magazines, or a battery recycling takes a little time, but it saves a lot of energy. Energy. There's enough for you and me. If we don't use it carelessly, we can save our energy. Energy. Save an ocean, save a tree. We can do it easily if we save our energy. Story, a wolf story. A wolf story by Lady Wilde. Transformation into wolves is a favorite subject of Irish Island and Irish legend, and many a wild tale is told by the peasants round the turf fire in the winter nights of strange adventures with wolves, stories that had come down to them from their forefathers in the old times long ago, for there are no wolves existing now in Ireland. A young farmer named Connor once missed two fine cows from his herd, and no tale or tidings could be heard of them anywhere. So he thought he would set out on a search throughout the country, and he took a stout black-horn stick in his hand and went his way. All day he travelled miles and miles, but never a sign of the cattle. And the evening began to grow very dark, and he was worried and hungry, and no place near to rest in, for he was in the midst of a bleak, desolate heath, with never a habitation at all in sight, except a long, low, rude shelling, like the den of a robber or a wild beast. But a gleam of light came from a chink between the boards, and Connor took heart and went up and knocked at the door. It was open, fit once by a thin, grey-haired old man with keen dark eyes. "Come in," he said. "You are welcome. We have been waiting for you. This is my wife." And he brought him over to the hut, where was seated an old, thin, grey woman with long, sharp teeth and terrible glittering eyes. "You are welcome," she said. "We have been waiting for you. It is time for supper. Sit down and eat with us." Then a knock came to the door, and the old man rose up and opened it. When in walked a slender young black wolf, who immediately went straight across the floor to an inner room, from which in a few moments came forth a dark, slender, handsome youth, who took his place at the table and looked hard at Connor with his glittering eyes. "You are welcome," he said. "We have waited for you." "These are our sons," said the old man. "Tell them what you want and what brought you here amongst us, for we live alone and don't care to have spies and strangers coming to our place." Then Connor told his story. Though he had lost his two fine cows and had searched all day and found no trace of them, and he knew nothing of the place he was in, nor of the kindly gentleman who asked him to supper. But if they just told him where to find his cows, he would thank them and make the best of his way home at once. Then they all laughed and looked at each other, and the old hag looked more frightful than ever when she showed her long sharp teeth. On this, Connor grew angry, for he was hot-tempered, and he grasped his black arm stick firmly in his hand and stood up and bade them open the door for him, for he would go his way, since they would give no heed and only mocked him. Then the oldest of the young men stood up. Wait, he said, we are fierce and evil, but we never forget a kindness. Do you remember one day down in the glen you found a poor little wolf in great agony and like to die because a sharp thorn had pierced his side, and you gently extracted the thorn and gave him a drink and went your way, leaving him in peace and rest? Yeah, well do I remember it, said Connor, and how the poor little beast licked my hand in gratitude. Well, said the young man, I am that wolf, and I shall help you if I can, but stay with us tonight and have no fear. So they sat down again to supper and feasted merrily, and then all fell fast asleep, and Connor knew nothing more till he woke in the morning and found himself by a large hay rick in his old field. Now surely, thought he, the adventure of last night was not at all a dream, and I shall certainly find my cows when I go home, for that excellent good young wolf promised his help, and I feel certain he would not deceive me. But when he arrived home and looked over the yard and the stable and the field, there was no sign nor sight of the cows, so he grew very sad and desperate spirited. But just then he espied in the field close by three of the most beautiful strange cows he had ever set eyes on. These must have strayed in, he said, from some neighbor's ground, and he took his big stick to drive them out of the gate of the field. But when he reached the gate, there stood a young black wolf watching, and when the cows tried to pass out at the gate, he bit at them and drew them back. Then Connor knew that his friend the wolf had kept his word, so he let the cows go quietly back to the field, and there they remained and grew to be the finest in the whole country, and their descendants are flourishing to this day. And Connor grew rich and prospered, for a kind deed is never lost, but brings good luck to the doer of evermore, as the old proverb says, blessings are won by a good deed done. But never again did Connor find that desolate heath or that lone shilling, though he sought far and wide to return his thanks as was due to the friendly wolves, nor did he ever again meet any of the family. This is a lesson from the ancient legend, Mystic Charms and Superstitions of Ireland by Lady Wilde. Shilling, this was also the word for a temporary but built for domestic or agricultural